All right. Good morning. It's 7 a.m. in Korea. I'm back in my home. What's up? This is my usual setup. Okay. And I didn't update this sidebar, so I'm gonna change the sidebar in a second. But I'm back in my home. I was in quarantine and I was doing things like cleaning up the house and hanging out with my cats, and I've been pretty much missing in action in terms of YouTube. But I'm kind of coming back into the swing of things, so I'll see you guys on this channel a little bit more in the coming weeks. I will be doing some 3 weeks of very intense teaching, so we'll see. We'll see how that plays with YouTube for me, but I'll try to be more active now. Today we're doing Sticks by George Saunders. Let me just change this sidebar text real quick. So again, in college, I didn't really study fiction. So George Saunders, not a name I really knew. Sticks, apparently it's really famous. I didn't really know about it, but I just started kind of reminding myself of what it was. Just doing some preliminary reading on on Google, and what I found was that it's extremely short. So we have this really, really, really short piece for you today, and it's and it's just loved by a lot of people who read it when they were younger. So let me actually go and show you my pre-reading. Go right into, oops, I'm just like all over the place right now. What was it? Okay, that's the button. Okay, I'm just trying to get used to my setup again. So let me get into the pre-reading real quick. And show you the kinds of things, or at least how I would what I would be looking for when I'm doing this. So that's the actual original text. But yes, I was just literally just looking at these before coming here. And then let's do Goodreads. If Goodreads has anything, yeah, we do have some stuff in Goodreads. So let's just jump around and see what we can expect out of this story. Familial inevitability to subvert and amplify a run-of-the-mill bad dad situation. A bad dad. Okay, so I mean, this is pretty analytical here, but I'm just jumping around. 392 masterpiece. He uses a sense of inevitability to subvert and amplify normal bad situation. I'm just gonna jump in here. Every Thanksgiving night, we flocked out behind dad. Okay, the zoom is a little awkward, so I'm gonna come out over here so you kind of don't get cut out at the edges. Okay, let's see if I can get more of that. Okay, so I'm kind of just skipping all some of these details here, because something about this poll. There's something about this poll. Okay. This person read it first when he was in high school and has reread it so many times. He or she has accidentally memorized it. So that's something. She is excited to share this. I overread everything, but okay, I'm not sure what to make of this right now. But subversion of expectations is what I'm thinking. What makes it great? His odd hobby of decorating a pole, but his struggle with his relationships with his kids and his struggle with his inevitable death. It's also how you can tell a good story by focusing on the periphery of a single object and how it connects symbolically to the Father himself. Is there an object that it's a little too teachy, but yeah, I'm gonna move on. This is the original text itself, so not much there. And then over here, let me make sure that this is not getting cut out too much. Let's see. Okay, over here. So, flash fiction, uncomfortable truth. So, I kind of wish I had. I mean, because what I'm doing right now is I'm actually reading more about the story than the actual story itself. But I'm trying to see. So normally I wouldn't really do this for something this short. Now that I think about it, but I'm just finding it I'm trying to find something interesting. You know, what would make me normally find this interesting to read. Honestly, it's such a short story that the reviews themselves are kind of short, but you know, that's to be expected. I think this is pretty much good enough for the pre-reading. All I know really at this point is it's extremely short. It's apparently 2 paragraphs. I had like that glimpse of it. There's a pole involved. And a dad who doesn't want to really be facing the reality of his death, and we'll see. And we'll see. All right, let's get into it. I just got zoned out, mainly because my cats are just being silly. Here, I'll just show you. My cats are taking over my room. Anyway, so back to reading. Okay, here we go. Crucifix he built out of a metal. Kind of a strange. Okay, that's a crazy first sentence, honestly. Because it creates a lot of suspense in that one sentence. Like, what's happening with this crucifix of Santa? Oh, and then it's dressed in a jersey. On Veterans Day, a soldier on Halloween. Weird. Such a weird thing. An interesting image. Immediately, it's like I find myself immediately interested in this weird, curious thing. Only concession to Glee. Ooh, that's a sad sentence. Huh. Whoa, okay. So a lot is happening just in these sentences right now. I'm just feeling like I'm learning so much about this dad from those 3 sentences. Yeah. Good enough. Yo, I could hear that. Cupcakes, no ice cream. Yeah, okay. What's with your dad and that pole? And I sat there blinking. Well, whoa, that's such a crazy. So he's very controlling father. Okay, and I actually want to pause because I know that there's only like one paragraph left. So I'm kind of shocked at how much interest has been generated in just this one thing. Okay, I'm gonna continue, but oh, such a crazy like the okay. I will elaborate because I want to at least clarify what my predictions are. Okay, first he celebrates the holidays by putting the symbol of the holiday on a crucifix. Okay, that's very strange. Uh, and second, he's extremely stingy. He doesn't allow glee. You know, he's controlling of everything in his life. These are some great examples. The Crayola box, so single crayon, apple slices, pouring ketchup, never ice cream. Something about him. Well, like, what do you learn about somebody who's like that? Okay, he's tyrannical, but about these minor, insignificant things. Very controlling. Personally, I think more of at least with like stereotypical Asian moms rather than fathers. So, so I'm getting, but maybe he's like a literary father, who like writes poetry, and so he's very exacting and everything. I don't know what that would be like, but yeah. And then the girlfriend's like, "What is your dad?" And that poll. And now my prediction is we're gonna end this story right away. So I'm like, I want to have a good first experience, but I think I can't figure it out honestly. How is this symbol related to him avoiding death? Like I don't really get it. That's good enough. I don't have a real prediction. I don't. I just think, and maybe it's because it's 7 a.m. because I didn't really sleep. I slept like 2 hours today. I can't think of something. Okay, let's just go. I'm gonna go. Oh, fast forwarding. Okay. Blooming also within us. Interesting. This sentence is so sad. It's this okay. Dad began dressing the pole with more complexity. Okay, it gets crazier. He draped some kind of fur over it on Groundhog Day and lugged out a floodlight to ensure a shadow. He's like kind of crazy, it feels like. When an earthquake struck Chile, he laid the pole on its side and spray painted a rift in the earth. Mom died, and he dressed the pole as death and hung from the crossbar photos of Mom as a baby. One autumn, bright yellow. And there's no specific day yet. We don't know this autumn day. Why is it yellow? Okay, it's just winter for warmth. And gave it babies. 6 babies. He ran lengths of string between the pole and the sticks and taped to the string letters of apology, pleas for understanding. On index cards, he painted a sign saying love and hung it from the pole, and another that said forgive. And then he died in the hall with the radio on. And we sold the house to a young couple who yanked out the pole and the sticks and left them by the road on garbage day. Oh man. I feel okay, the first feeling would probably be sad. A little bit of poignancy. I feel like he lost the father, but the father was always a little cowardly, right? He could never speak directly to his children about this. And so what happens is the father is, and then he just dies, and he's his only method of communicating it goes into the trash. But what actually happens to his children, to his son? His son has the seeds of meanness blooming also within him and his wife. Let me go through this. Yo, this brows furrowed, man. When I read this stuff, very crazy, and it's a lot of it's a very interesting type of suspense when reading through this. Very just like, huh? What's going on? And then this last bit, he ran lengths of string between the pole and the sticks. Apparently, he had 6 children. And taped to the string letters of apology, admissions of error, pleas for understanding, all written in a frantic hand on index cards. He painted a sign saying love, forgive, and then he died in the hall with the radio on. With the radio on. Oh my God. I'm just imagining that. They're finding him in the hall of the house, dead with the radio on. That's like, that one scene is just all captured there with died in the hall with the radio on. That's such a crazy scene. And we sold the house to a young couple who left them by the road on garbage day. Garbage day, Oh God. There's so much going on, but this is so compressed. I don't know how to explain how I feel, other than, I mean, I've shown you how I feel. I can't think of what to express other than this guy just is such a weird and interesting and sad and tragic father. And he has left his legacy on his children by letting the seeds of meanness bloom in them. He planted the seeds of meanness in them. and he never got his forgiveness. He just dies. But it feels like a interesting metaphor now that I say that again, for just how generational, how families are. Their generation, every generation of a family has inherits some of the bad from the previous generation too. And every family is different and unique in its own badness. But there's also that desperation of a father who doesn't know how to communicate and wants that love. And I realize where the feelings are coming from. Oh my God. Like, I had a father, or I still have a father, sorry. I have a father who softened a lot as he grew older. Okay? But forget that. I also had a grandfather, okay, who used to be my grandfather and my father, terrible relationship. My father didn't really visit him when he was dying. I was the one who was sort of taking care of our grandfather. Horrible relationship, kind of tyrannical, but even I could see in my grandfather's eyes and the tone of his voice, he wanted his son to love him. But there's no damned way in hell that he would ever say it out loud, right? But if he were creative enough, would he have done something as desperate as this poll? I think maybe. So it kind of cuts at this sort of masculine constraint of not being able to honestly just say these things to your son. Yeah, making that personal connection was a bit of a surprise for me. I wasn't realizing that was going on there, but yes, there are hard fathers out there who are not communicative. And yes, the seeds of meanness are planted, and they do bloom. Oh man. Okay, yeah, I think that's the best I can get out of this in real time right now. It's 350 words. Go read it for yourself. I'm about to finish this stream. Go read it for yourself, and tell me what you think. You might have noticed for this particular story, I struggled really to put it into words what was happening. So it took me a while to process that. But yeah, I think so much is happening there with this poll. It's such a crazy image and such a strange and upsetting obsession for this father, and so I connected with it emotionally in that way. I'm hoping to hear from you guys. How did you connect to this story? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.